Hey guys, Gaddock Teeg here, and this is the SWTOR Weekly Digest for June 14th, 2013. Delayed streams and patches and plenty more to talk about this week, so let's cut the chatter and check out the Gold Post summary. In a week filled with big SWTOR news, the biggest was probably the release of patch 2.2. The patch's biggest allure is the release of Nightmare TFB, the first of two Nightmare modes that will be released in the next few weeks. Also included is a second noble yet flawed attempt to increase guild rewards, and the ability to craft level 72 item modifications. The guild rewards thing is probably the most disappointing, increasing the guild's experience boost based on the number of active players in a guild, as well as throwing in a reputation boost to boot. It's cute, but ultimately nothing more than junk food. Giving players a couple boosts for joining a guild doesn't really increase the sense of community in that guild, which really should be the reason players joined it in the first place. This is an obvious second attempt at something they'd like to expand on in the future, but I guess it is what it is for now. The Archon's Contraband pack was also added to the cartel market, and this patch is highlighted by a couple new sexy crystals and the incredible Hutball uniform gear sets. I think this is the best pack released so far, with tons of cool looking stuff and even a reusable Jawelgram. It figures I've opened nothing but titles and emotes so far. All in all, this patch is definitely still up in the air quality wise. There's been some talk in the forums that BioWare buffed a boss in TFB to the point that it is impossible, so check back next week to see where it stands. One blindingly obvious omission from the patch 2.2 notes was the release of paid character transfers. I'm pretty sure this is the 1,000,000,000th time I've talked about this, but this was indeed the case as BioWare has decided to push back server transfers yet again, in order to fix more bugs in the system. Eric Musko once again had the unenviable job of breaking the news to the forums, stating that the target date is now patch 2.2.1, and that the issue has to do with transfers and player achievements. He then went on in another post that the scheduled release date for patch 2.2.1 will be June 25th, but says that the bugs have not been fully eradicated yet, so the release date of server transfers are yet again subject to change. One of BioWare's strongest traits is also their biggest flaw sometimes. When a big new feature is going to be released, they will not release it until it's how they want it. BioWare has an intense aversion to releasing things like server transfers or dual spec until they have them in the exact place that they want them in. It's admirable, but it's also frustrating at the same time. If you took a poll of players actually looking to transfer, what percent do you think actually would care if their meaningless achievements were not ported over? Hell, I bet quite a few players would be okay if they had to restart their legacy, achievements, reputation, and character name if it means they get a 55 on the server with their friends. Finally, early in the week, Eric Musko, Jeff Hickman, and Bruce McLean held a half-hour livestream mainly to discuss patch 2.2. On top of talking about the patch, a few hints of information were weaved in to keep players interested. Seen here is a bullet-pointed list of notes from the always wonderful Dolphy. If you have no idea who Dolphy is, head over to her website now, you'll thank me later. She really is the best. Anyway, the most intriguing new info to come out from this stream is the fact that there is no chance of another Rakghoul plague, which I personally think is a wonderful thing. The nostalgia for the Rakghoul event is great, but in all sincerity it was nowhere near the quality of the Grey event, and a lot of people hate on the Grey event. Bruce McLean later went on to the forums to clarify that a resurgence of the Rakghoul plague is something they would like to do and is currently in the cards, but not within the near-term set of updates. This kind of gels with the datamine info, which I talked about on last week's Unnamed SWTOR podcast, suggesting that we will get a Rakghoul event that is likely different from the one we remember. Similarly intriguing was the discussion of a special feature upcoming that will be subscriber only that shows BioWare's appreciation of its subscribers. Anyone have a guess? Because I have no idea. That's all the headlines from this week. As always, if you like what you've seen, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any SWTOR video coverage. Until next week, this is Gaddock Teeg signing off.